They say the American market is a gold mine for European entrepreneurs, but how do you stand out in the competitive landscape? I'm Christina Rubafe-Broaddus, the American market alchemist, and I believe that anyone can write their U.S. success story to amplify their influence and scale their impact beyond the borders of their home market. In this podcast, you'll hear inspiring stories and practical advice from American market experts and European entrepreneurs who are making an impact in the U.S. Tune in each week for a dose of motivation and tactical tips to build your influence and visibility in the world's largest market so you stand out, attract more clients, and turn your European business into American gold. Now, let's dive in. Struggling to crack the U.S. market? I'll show you why understanding your American client is the key to making more revenue. I'm Christina Rubafe-Broaddus. I'm the founder of American Market Alchemist, where we help European entrepreneurs position themselves to stand out as the go-to choice in their industry to get more American clients faster. To connect with American clients, you need to go beyond your surface level assumptions. It's all about identifying your ideal American client persona and understanding their mindset. But why is this so important? Because American clients have specific priorities and values, and they are often different from perhaps the European clients back home that you're used to working with. So the first step is, of course, to define who your American client, your ideal American client really is. What are their needs? What are their challenges? What are their goals? And understanding this will help you to create message that resonate and attract these clients. Because when you know their pain points specifically, like you can get inside their head to really understand that, you can much more easily show how your solution meets their needs directly. And one of the biggest differences between American and European clients is perhaps the emphasis on things like convenience, quick results, clear ROI, return on investment. American clients want to know what they're getting right away, but not in terms of technical aspects, features. They want to know what they're getting in terms of benefits. What is this going to do for me? How is this going to make my life better? How is this going to help me do things easier or faster or make more money or feel healthier or whatever it is that you're offering? But what is the benefit, the end benefit? That's what they want to know. They appreciate directness and they expect a straightforward, easy to understand value proposition based on, again, the benefits, not the features. I see this too many times, people talking about their features, and it's just not clear what that concrete end benefit is for the client. We can't imagine that. You have to tell us. So as you define who is your ideal American client persona, also remember to focus on what drives their decision making. Now, how do you do that? Research. Research is the key here. You want to be able to go out, I would say start on the internet if you need to. That's okay. Dive into American business communities, online networks, forums, groups on Facebook, groups on LinkedIn, anywhere on social media to where you can really observe, how your ideal clients discuss their challenges. Look at the language that they're using. Look at the priorities they express. What are they talking about? What are they looking for? What are the questions that they're asking? And this is going to help you to get inside their head without needing to talk to them first. Now, I say first because you will need to be able to reach out to these people, to ask them if you can talk to them, maybe ask them a few research questions so that you can really get inside their head, not just observe from an outside perspective. And when you're able to do that, then you can shape your message in a way that feels personal and relevant to them, even though you're talking to maybe, I don't know, 50,000 people on the internet. A little tip for this is when you do those Zoom meetings with these American clients, prospects, whatever, use artificial intelligence to transcribe that meeting, to create a summary of it so that you can focus on being there with them. And then you get a written summary and a recap of that meeting, maybe even the entire transcript, because what you can do then is go through and highlight the words, the phrases that they use, where you say, oh, I can use this when I'm talking about what I do, when I talk about my solutions, and they're going to feel like, wow, this person, it's like they're inside my head, and that's exactly what you want. So that brings me to the next point, which is to align your messaging to speak directly to your American clients' pain points, their desires, the obstacles, the misconceptions, the mistakes that they're making. And the way that you do that is by talking to them, getting their language, and reusing that in your own messaging. So if you see that, a lot of people are talking about they value speed, convenience, things like that, make sure that your pitch reflects those things. And then as you start getting your first American clients, you can use testimonials and case studies to showcase your track record with those clients and with, similar types of clients. Now, a little note from personal experience. If you work with different types of clients, for example, I've worked with bakers, wedding planners, the marketing team of a company that does syrups and liqueurs, startup founders, medtech founders, biotech founders, companies in biotech and medtech, major companies who are manufacturers of semiconductors, and also major companies that do cybersecurity and other companies who do washing machines. So you can see I have a lot of different types of clients, but the method that we take them through, it works no matter what industry you're in. Now, I always almost have a client who says, I help Americans who want to come and live in Italy, for example. They want to relocate to Italy. Have you ever worked with someone who does exactly what I do? And I say, well, no, I've never worked with someone who helps Americans to relocate to Italy, but I have worked with, I've used this method. We've used it with bakers, wedding planners, tech startup founders, marketing teams of liqueur companies, and the method works for all of them. So it could also, and it probably will also work for you if it works across the board. All of that to say is that just because you don't have a specific case study for a specific type of client, that's okay. Show them that your method works across the different types of industries, because I feel like a lot of times people say, yeah, but I don't have just the same type of client. I can't tell them the success stories I've had because they're very different. Because the client's different, but your method, your pitch, the benefits that they will get, those are the same. So you might need to highlight, because they're not going to automatically make that connection in their brain. You need to make that connection for them, especially for Americans. We need it to be very clear and very explicit. And when you're able to do that and to show, how your method or your approach benefits clients, kind of no matter what profile they have, that's going to help to build up your credibility. That helps you to build trust. And it also demonstrates that, yes, your clients are all very different, but you can point out the challenges that they all share and that they will share with that specific prospect that you're talking to. Now, final point is to remember that identifying your American client persona, identifying your positioning, identifying your niche, however you want to pronounce. I like niche. It rhymes with pitch. It's easy to remember. But just remember that all of this work is an ongoing process. A little metaphor that I used this morning with a client, and he really liked it, so I'm going to try to use it more in my messaging, is you don't need to know exactly where you're going to end up right now. You don't need to have your perfect American client persona. You just need to get it directionally correct. Now, what I mean by that is, imagine when Christopher Columbus, he set off from Spain and he was trying to get to India, and he ended up in the Americas. But he kind of knew where he was heading. He didn't know the exact route to go. Clearly, he didn't know where he was going to end up, but he just knew, like, all right, I'm setting off from Spain. I just need to go that direction, more or less. And he set off to start that journey. And then as he was crossing the Atlantic Ocean, adjusted his course based on what he was seeing and where he saw that he needed to go. So maybe he started off this way and he had to go a little this way. And then he had to change courses a little and go. And that's exactly what you need to do also. Be like Christopher Columbus, we could say. Just get out there, launch yourself, and then you're going to adjust your course as you go, and you see in what direction you need to steer your ship, if we could say. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to get it perfect. This is going to evolve as a process. As you gain more insights and you talk to more people, you can continue to refine your approach. And American clients, they really appreciate it when you show that you're learning, you're adapting to meet their needs, and that you're doing your homework, let's say. And when you're able to show that, it goes a long way to building up their trust also. Now, if you're ready to dive deeper and truly understand your American client persona, like I said, start with the research, adapt your message, make the connections, and continue adjusting your course as you cross the Atlantic Ocean. I like that metaphor. Transatlantic entrepreneur. There you go. You're like, yeah, crossing the ocean. I'm going to use that more, I think. Let me know if you like that or if you think it's cheesy, and I'll see if I use it more. Anyway, if you're prepared to succeed in the US market, then maybe now's the time to start making your move, to launch your ship, and then figure it out as you go. That being said, I have an opportunity for you. I'm hosting my next Transatlantic Entrepreneur Workshop on October 30th, where I will teach you the 5 actions that are necessary to make more revenue with American clients faster and perhaps in a simpler way. I'm not going to say easy. It's never easy, but it's a predictable process that makes it simpler. And that includes getting right on your niche and your target audience. To save your spot at that workshop, the link is in the notes below this episode. And I'm going to say, go out there, be bold, stand out, and let's show the world what you're all about. All right. Thank you. And I will see you in the next episode. And I will see you at that Transatlantic Entrepreneur Workshop on October 30th. Link in the episode notes. Thanks for listening to the American Market Alchemist podcast. If you're ready to amplify your influence and scale your impact in the U.S. market, become a member of my newsletter community. You'll get weekly tips on LinkedIn strategy, personal branding, and digital marketing to write your U.S. success story. The link to get the newsletter is in the show notes. I'm Christina Robofe-Broaddus, and I'll talk to you next time.